Union News, the 24th of March, 2024. Welcome to Union News, your guide to what's happening in the UK labour and trade union movement. Reporting is by Pat Harrington. Music is by Tim Bragg.
Train drivers to strike across 16 companies and London Underground next month. Train drivers from 16 companies and the London Underground are set to stage a series of strikes next month, according to an announcement by the Associated Society of Locomotive Engineers and Firemen, ASLEF. The decision comes after tube drivers voted overwhelmingly in favour of walking out on April 8 and May 4. Their primary grievances revolve around the lack of assurances from management regarding changes to their terms and conditions. ASLEF demands that any alterations be made through mutual agreement and that existing agreements be honoured. Finn Brennan, the London Underground ASLEF organiser, expressed concern over the establishment of a full-time team of managers tasked with imposing massive changes to drivers' working conditions. The union fears that these changes could adversely impact their members. In response, a Transport for London spokesperson clarified that the organisation had no intentions of imposing changes unilaterally. They emphasised their commitment to safeguarding jobs and assured that discussions would precede any alterations. Simultaneously, members of various train operators will initiate a rolling series of one-day strikes from April 5 to 8, accompanied by an overtime ban spanning April 4 to 6 and 8 to 9. Mick Whelan, ASLEF's General Secretary, criticised the ridiculous offer presented by the Rail Delivery Group in April of the previous year. He called for meaningful negotiations on a new pay deal for train drivers. However, recent developments indicate that the parties involved are unwilling to resolve the dispute amicably. The strike action will impact services across multiple companies. April 5, Avanti West Coast, East Midlands Railway, West Midlands Trains, and Cross Country. April 6, Chiltern, GWR, LNER, Northern, and TransPennine Trains. April 8, C2C, Greater Anglia, GTR Great Northern Thames Link, South Eastern, Southern Gatwick Express, South Western Railway Main Line and Depot Drivers, and SWR Island Line.
Youth wage gap. 70% of young workers face financial strain, TUC analysis reveals. The Trade Union Congress, TUC, has today revealed that 7 in 10 young workers are at risk of significant financial hardship due to the lower rate of the minimum wage they receive. The Union Federation has called for an overhaul of the unfair, tiered rates system, which it says is penalizing more than 700,000 workers aged between 18 and 20. According to the TUC, the minimum wage pay penalty facing young workers this coming year is estimated to be £2,438 a year or £47 a week. The main rate is currently £10.42 per hour for over 23s, £10.18 for 21 to 22-year-olds, and just £7.49 per hour for 18 to 20-year-olds, with under 18s earning a mere £5.28 per hour. Despite the rate for 21-year-olds and overdue to rise to £11.44, the minimum wage for workers aged 18 to 20 is set to increase to just £8.60 per hour. This means they could be paid almost £3 less an hour than their older peers. TUC General Secretary Paul Novak commented on the issue, stating, "Everyone should be paid fairly for the job they do. But too many young workers are still being left hugely out of pocket because of outdated youth rates of the national minimum wage." The TUC's analysis comes ahead of its Young Workers Conference this weekend. The union is backing Labour's New Deal, which pledges to introduce a real living wage for workers and ban zero-hours contracts. Tom Courage, Policy and Research Manager at Centrepoint, added, "In normal times it would defy logic to leave under 23s earning significantly less than older workers for the same job. At a time when inflation has soared and the price of everything from utilities and rents to everyday essentials has become unaffordable for many, it is appalling."
Government under fire, PHSO report reveals pension age hike left millions of women in financial distress. The UK government is facing mounting pressure to apologise and compensate thousands of women whose retirement plans were abruptly disrupted due to the increase in the retirement age. A 5-year investigation by the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman, PHSO, released today found that the Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, failed to adequately inform about the rise in pension age. The changes affected approximately 3.8 million women born after April 6, 1950. Many were unaware they would have to wait longer to receive their pension, leading to significant financial and emotional distress. The 1995 Tory government's Pension Act planned to raise the women's state pension age from 60 to 65, aligning it with men's. The change was to be implemented from 2010 to 2020. However, the 2011 Pension Act accelerated the timetable, bringing it forward to 2018, leaving many uninformed. The PHSO report criticized the DWP for not acknowledging its failings and urged the department to apologize for the impact on those affected. Despite this, the DWP has indicated it will refuse to comply. The report recommended that the affected women receive a payout between £1,000 and £2,950, falling under Level 4 of the Ombudsman's Severity of Injustice scale. However, campaigners are calling for compensation of at least £10,000, corresponding to Level 6 of the scale, which involves devastating or irreversible injustice. The PHSO has asked Parliament to intervene and establish a compensation scheme swiftly. Angela Madden, chair of Women Against State Pension Inequality, WASPI, argued for a larger payout, stating it far more clearly and reasonably recognises the injustice and loss of opportunities suffered. According to WASPI estimates, one person affected by the changes dies every 13 minutes. National Pensioners Convention General Secretary Jan Short highlighted that thousands of women have passed away since the campaign began, saving the government billions in unclaimed pension payments. Unite General Secretary Sharon Graham labelled the DWP's failures a national disgrace. The PHSO report found that the DWP's handling of the age changes eroded the affected individual's sense of personal autonomy and financial control, preventing them from making informed choices about their finances. Unison General Secretary Christina McAnear said the rise had been catastrophic for a whole generation of women and left their retirement plans in tatters. She added, "It's only right the thousands of women left in dire financial straits are given compensation now. This has all taken far too long." The Prime Minister's official spokesman said the government would now consider the Ombudsman's report and respond to their recommendations formally in due course. A DWP spokesman stated, "The government has always been committed to supporting all pensioners in a sustainable way that gives them a dignified retirement."
Protest in Leeds demands fair pay and support for special needs education. School support staff and parents rallied outside Leeds Civic Hall, voicing their demands for better pay, increased funding, and improved support for children with special educational needs. The protest, organised by the General Union GMB, highlighted critical issues faced by teaching assistants and students. Key demands: end poverty pay. Teaching assistants on the lowest pay grade are grappling with what the GMB calls poverty pay. These essential workers deserve fair compensation for their crucial roles in education. Special needs education. The placement of special needs children in mainstream schools has raised concerns. GMB emphasizes that this practice can lead to significant challenges and hinder effective learning. More specialized schools. The government must invest in building more specialized schools to cater specifically to the needs of these students. Challenges faced: educational psychologists exodus. A shortage of educational psychologists exacerbates the situation. Their departure affects the well-being of students who require specialized support. Violence and communication. Some special needs children express themselves through aggression. Teaching assistants often lack proper training to handle such situations. Budget constraints. Schools struggle to provide adequate resources due to insufficient funding. Many end up using their own budgets to support special needs children. The GMB asserts that these problems extend beyond Leeds and are nationwide. Following the protest, A delegation of parents and union representatives presented their case to Leeds City Council, urging immediate action to address these pressing issues.